Hi beautiful, thank you so much for watching. Good morning from California. It is 6:27 as I'm about to start recording this, but it doesn't matter because we're going to have fun and we're going to create a beautiful New Year's Eve makeup look. I want to incorporate the Pantone color of the year for 2018 into this makeup look. So yeah, definitely stay tuned. Please keep watching. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Give this a like if it tickles your fancy, and I love you for being here. Thank you for watching. Let's get started. It's so early in the morning and my mouth is just running like a motorboat. Now you see what my husband has to go through. So I'm going to start by prepping the skin with this Cover FX Custom Infusion drops. The type is Hydration. Please ignore the bottle. It's been very heavily used and abused. I really like this product. And I'm going to give it just a few minutes to sip into the skin. And while that happens, I'm going to organize the makeup for today. Okay, so like I said, I'm going to give this about 2 to 3 minutes to really seep into the skin, and while that happens, I'm going to organize my makeup because whenever I do makeup looks, I really like to put things in order, you know, so I don't miss or skip any steps. So I'm going to do that and I'll be right back. See, okay, yeah, we're good. We can move on to the primer. Now, because it's winter time and my skin is really dehydrated, I'm willing to bet that your skin is dehydrated as well. Then I would recommend going with something like this, like the Smashbox Photo Finish Primerizer. It is a primer and a moisturizer in one, so it will give your skin that a little added bit of hydration, which it desperately needs this time of year. I'm just gonna put 2 pumps on my fingertips. And I'm going to dab this into the skin. If I rub it, it's going to mix in with the oil, and I just don't want that, so I'm adding it on top and pushing it into the skin. Smashing. So I'm gonna give this a couple of minutes as well. It's typically good to give your moisturizer, your primer, even your foundation sometimes just a few minutes in between doing something else so that they can set, you know, so they can do what they're supposed to do. Because if you start mixing them too soon, then, you know, their properties kind of get entangled and you may not get that beautiful look that you're going after. So yeah, I'm gonna give this a couple more minutes too. I'm gonna get back to some emails, and then it's gonna be time for the foundation, which I'm mixing in with an amazing glow booster. So we'll talk about that in a second. Okay, no crazy amounts of time in between are required, so let's move on. For the foundation, I'm going to use this Nars Natural Radiant Longwear Foundation. The color is Fiji, and I'm going to mix it with the Glow Booster in Pink Pearl from Pixi. What I really love about Pixi is that you can get this from the drugstore, Target, pharmacies. Yeah, it's pretty amazing, pretty affordable. Because I don't feel like messing up another dish or anything like that, I'm just going to mix this on the back of my hand, which is clean. So I'm gonna put about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, because I have a big face. 6 pumps of this. I would say the ratio would be 3 to 1 of foundation with the Glow Booster. There it is. Well, you might not be able to see it now, but on the skin, this Glow Booster is basically going to give that added touch of glow. For the foundation brush, I'm going to stick with this one, which I really love actually. It's the Heavenly Flat Top Buffing Foundation number 6 from IT Cosmetics. I love the flat top, and I'm going to use tapping motions at first to distribute the product. Then I'm going to very lightly kind of rub into the skin. And then I'm going to tap again, and then I'm going to use my beauty blender to really set it into the skin. Those are pretty much the steps that I take so that the foundation looks flawless. And I made a whole video about non-cakey foundation too, so you can definitely add some of those tips in here, but I'm going to link that video below for you so you can watch it later. Don't forget to get into your ears and hairline. Very gently go over the eyelid and the eye area. You really don't want to pull and tug on your eyes because they're the ones that age the fastest. And the last thing you want, honey, is to fast forward that process. Okay, now I'm going to tap the product into the skin again. And now I'm going to use my slightly damp beauty blender and going to tap it further, and that's really what's going to seal the foundation into my skin, make it last longer, and give me a flawless finish. Well, I like that. For the concealer, I'm also using Nars. This is the Radiant Creamy Concealer. And I'm going to link, by the way, everything in the description box below, so don't you worry about trying to write all these things down or anything like that. And what I'm going to do is that I'm going to focus this into the center of my face. You've seen this before. We're going to do it together again. Basically, one upside down triangle filled in here. And this will drag all the way up to here. I'm not going to drag it all the way down here because I'm going to use some bronzer to actually shorten the length of my nose. So if I'm dragging this all the way down, then that's going to counteract what I'm trying to do with the bronzer. So I want my nose to appear shorter, and that's why I'm stopping there. I'm bringing this toward the center of my face, because if you want the face to look narrower, then why would you go like this? You know, you want to create that illusion.
I'm going to fill this as well. I'm going to do the same thing, matching on the opposite side.
And because I'm going to want some really sculpted cheeks, I'm going to already start emphasizing. So basically right underneath the cheekbone. See, that's kind of where it ends. Right immediately underneath it is where you want to put this. Oh, one more thing. I'm going to put a little tiny dot right above the arch of my eyebrow to give the impression that the eyebrow is a little bit more lifted. This is especially a good trick if you are getting older like me. It just creates that illusion of a lift. A little mini lift. Now, let's blend. I'm actually going to bring a little bit of this concealer on the top lid as well, because it will serve as an eyeshadow primer. Next up, we are going to bronze. I'm using HOOLA from Benefit, and I'm going to go in with two different brushes. This one is from Real Techniques. It is called Sculpting Brush. And I like this because it's more of a precision kind of brush, and it will apply the bronzer exactly where I want it to go. And then I'm going to diffuse that bronzer a little bit and soften it up with this Morphe E34 brush. Also, to sculpt my nose, I'm going to use the Morphe G41 brush. So yeah, let's get started. I'm very lightly and very gently going to tap into the product. Any excess I'm going to tap in the back of my hand, on the back of my hand, because I really don't want it to be too harsh as I apply it. And I'm using tapping motions because I really don't want to shift any of the foundation that I just applied. I do this right on the cheekbone and feather it upward. I'm also going to take this to my temple and the top of the forehead, into the hairline. This is when I'm going to grab that other brush and I'm going to very lightly diffuse it. There we go. Very lightly use these windshield wiper-like movements. And shorten its length. I was going to say shorten its leg. Okay, I'm going to bring it down. Connect it with the eyebrows, which is a must and most people forget to do. Or just don't do, but it looks so natural otherwise. And don't worry, we're going to apply a little bit of translucent powder on top, so even though the lines look a little bit harsh now, they're actually going to get diffused in a little bit. I'm going to pack this underneath my eyes, basically everywhere where I've applied concealer. I'm going to pack this on because A, I wanted to set my makeup right now and I don't want it to crease or shift as much, and B, I'm going to apply extra underneath the eyes because I'm doing a pretty heavy dark eye. I don't want any of that fallout on my face, and this is essentially going to trap that fallout, and as I wipe the powder, I will wipe any fallout with it, so it's amazing. It's like double purpose. Okay, so let's grab a regular dry beauty blender. Let's pack this on, shall we? We're gonna be dealing with black eyeshadow, so do not be shy. Apply this everywhere. Now I was just thinking about the eyebrows. And really, when you do your eyebrows is entirely up to you. You'll see a lot of makeup artists that will be doing it now before doing the eyeshadow. I personally prefer doing it afterwards, simply because just the way I apply makeup, sometimes I get a little bit onto my eyebrows and I just don't want to do my eyebrows and then I have like eyeshadow on top and then I have to go back to the eyebrows and then they look heavier. So it's a matter of preference. There's really no rule to it, so do as you please, my love. Next up, eyeshadow. We are going to go in with the Morphe 35N palette. I am going to use this color right here as the brow bone color, and I'm going to transition it a little bit lower toward the crease. I'm going to use this gray at the crease, and I'm going to slightly lift it upward toward the brow bone, so there's going to be really a nice diffusion happening over there. And then there are two blacks right here, which is kind of confusing, but as I swatched them, I realized that one of them is a very rich color, very black, very deep, while the other one is almost semi-transparent, like not a very opaque kind of color, black. So I think I'm going to play with both of them. Maybe the opaque one, sorry, English is my second language, which I believe when I switched was this one. I'm going to apply it a little bit below the crease and kind of blend it in with that gray, and then I'm going to use a really rich black one all over the lower lid, and yeah, we'll go from there. But let us get started. I'm going to get a fluffy brush. This is the Luxie 227 blending brush, and I'm going to use that very light color at the brow bone. Never blow on your brushes because our mouths are disgusting. Do not worry, by the way, if you see this creasing thing. Oh, we'll fix it. So here we go. See, I go over the, I don't want any separation, so I kind of go into the brow like that, and that's why eyeshadow gets on it a little bit, and that is why I personally don't do my eyebrows till after I'm done with the eyes. I'm going to bring this color, actually, I've decided, all over the lid because it will serve as a base anyway, so it's such a muted color that really won't make a difference. In fact, it might help the eyeshadow stick to itself better. And I'm tapering this outward. It's always good to gradually pack this on, not grab too much product and then it's too dark. It's always better to build it up. So I'm using windshield wiper movements, focusing on the crease. And once I feel satisfied with how the color looks, I'm going to wipe the brush pretty well. And then I'm going to taper it outward toward the brow bone. Okay, I'm wiping the brush just on a paper towel, making sure that there's not a lot of color that comes off of it. And I'm blending the edges outward. If you feel like it's too blend in, like this, just repeat the process. I'm going to grab the Luxie 205 tapered blending brush, and I'm going to go into that second more opaque black that I mentioned. I'm going to apply it at the crease. Let's see what happens. Very slowly working this outward, upward toward that gray. I don't want to go over it. I want that gradient of the lighter color, the gray, and then this opaque.
I gotta go somewhere else because I know somebody's going to hate on me. But oh well.
If you're starting to notice that you've applied too much and it doesn't look very gradient, just wipe the brush and then work it upward toward that gray. And honestly, it doesn't have to be perfect because nobody is going to be this close to your eye and say, girl, you should have blended this a little bit more. Now let's do the other eye. You can tell the difference between the two. Okay, now it's time to go in with that heavy black, and I'm using the Sigma Eye Shading E55 brush. I am packing it in through tapping motions, going to the end, the outer end, carefully placing it at the inner corner. Now I'm going to wipe the brush very well, and I'm going to start lifting this black toward that grayish crease. Now, as you get older, you will realize that as you're doing these windshield wiper-like movements, because the skin is a lot more loose than it was when you were younger, you're gonna start seeing these little creases like that. It's one of the issues that I have to work through as I'm getting older. But, you know, we work through them. Now here comes the fun part. We're going to use eye glitter. And normally, you know, you go in with the black glitter, silver glitter. Not this time around, baby. This time around, we're going to use the Pantone color of 2018, which is ultraviolet. And I have this glitter that I got from Eye Candy Cosmetics. The color is Sour Grape. You can see it's really purple and vibrant. Every glitter comes with the liquid sugar and the little brush. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to dip this brush in a little bit of the liquid sugar and then grab this glitter right here and then pack it onto my eyelid. You really don't need to drench this brush into the sugar. You need just a little bit at the tip of it, enough to be able to grab some of this glitter and actually stick to it. And there it is. And in fact, you want it to not be too wet because otherwise it's going to create patches on your eyeshadow. I'm going to focus on packing it at the center of the lid. And I'm going to diffuse it upward and toward the outer and inner corners. But really, the main bulk of it is going to be at the center right there. It's almost like a halo of sorts. Now we're going to remove the translucent powder. I'm going to use staccato-like movements, very robotic in nature, because there is some fallout, especially underneath the eyes, and I really don't want to drag that around. Now we are going to grab that very pigmented black. I'm going to start packing it underneath the lower lashes. Connecting at the outer corner. Now I'm going to grab a fluffier brush. Let's find one. This is one of the Tarte brushes, came as a set. Unfortunately, it has no number on it, but I bought it on Black Friday from Sephora. I'm going to dip this in that gray color. And I'm going to start going right here at the lower base and feather it downward like this. Time to go in for the brows, and I'm using the Anastasia Dipbrow pomade in medium brown, and also using this, I think it's the number 12 brush, also from Anastasia. Next, I'm going to take the Urban Decay 24/7 Glide On Eye Pencil in Psychedelic Sister, and I'm going to apply this at the waterline. I made a video on how to make sure that your eyelashes are properly attached and stay on a few months ago, so I'm going to link that in the description box because trust me, you do not want to miss that. For mascara, I'm using the Maybelline Total Temptation in black, and I have to be honest, I really like this mascara. With the more expensive lashes, I usually don't apply mascara all the way to the tip of the lash because I don't want to alter the shape of it. But if it's a one-time use kind of lash, then yeah, I go over to the top, making sure that they're really bold, honey. For blush, I'm using Sephora Mangobeam. For highlighters, I'm going to combine two BECCA highlighters. This is Pearl and this is Opal. I want to create that perfect balance of gold and silver shimmer. On the lips, I'm going to apply a little bit of the Farsali 24 karat rose gold elixir. And lastly, for lipstick, I'm going in with Huda Beauty in Wifey. So this is it, my gorgeous friend. I hope that you enjoyed our time together. I most certainly really had a good time doing this here with you right now. I appreciate you and I love you and I thank you very much for watching. And as far as 2018, gosh, I hope that you will experience health, happiness, unconditional love, support in every sense of the word, respect, success in your business and workplace, quality and empowering and uplifting relationships, adventures, lots of travels, great memories made with your loved ones, and all in all, everything that you ever hoped and wished for. I hope those things will all become a reality for you in 2018. I love you. Thank you for being subscribed, for liking, commenting. I'll see you in the new year, and yeah, Happy New Year. Bye. Made such a mess of myself.